Okay, well, thank you very much, Anna, for being with us. We're here at Barcelona Metropolitan. We're here to answer a couple of questions that we're getting from a lot of our audience. And that is, there are people who want to see if they can come into Spain or not. So we want to cover the COVID travel restrictions. If you can do this very briefly and just hit the points that you think are most relevant, that would be great. But if you can introduce yourself for those who aren't familiar with you, Anna.
Sure. Thank you, Victor, again for inviting me to one of your talks. It's always a pleasure. My name is Anna Klevtsova, and I'm a managing partner of Klev&Vera law firm. We work with international clients in Spain in all different range of matters, including all sorts of immigration. And yes, this is the matter that raises many concerns for many people who want to travel to Spain. And as you know, the lockdown in Spain that lasted from 14th of March till, well, it finally ended on the 21st of June. And that is when the European Union, when the European Commission lifted the restrictions for the travel between the European countries. So on one hand, that is for those who have the citizenship or residency from the other European countries. That simplified a lot the mobility. And also as an incentive to reopen the European Union, again, Europe recommended to slowly reopen slowly the borders, but that is done on the basis of the studies of the countries and their health situations. So as of now, as of today, from 4th of July, the entry for citizens of 15 countries is allowed. And well, you could see that list, of course, everywhere in press. They are, if you want, I can list those states, but they are 15 countries. And the US is not on that list, unfortunately.
Okay.
And
if there's a chance for somebody to come to Barcelona, because either they reside here, but they happen to find themselves in the US to help family members during this difficult time, is there something that you would recommend that they do before they buy their trip to come back to Barcelona to maximize their chance to be allowed in?
Sure. Here we are in two typical situations. One, which is very common, is that you lived in Spain before, you had your residence card, but during these months it expired and you couldn't renew it on time, or even if you renewed it, but because of these difficulties that Spain is facing now to get appointments to get the new card, the new tarjeta de identidad de extranjero cards, you just stayed without your valid card, or it's expired. And in that case, it is rather simple to return, because this person, in fact, it has the resident status. It is just a matter of finding the way to demonstrate his resident status. And here, it can happen that if the card, and it is getting a little bit technical perhaps in legal language, but that is how it works. So if the card expired during the state of the national emergency and 90 days before, those ones, they get automatically extended for 6 months. For 6 months after the end of the national emergency situation, and that is practically speaking from 21st of June till 21st of December. So that is the extension period that is automatically granted by the government decree. And the cards that are expired, they are those which expired from the 14th of December till the 21st of June. So these are the dates that are important to bear in mind.
Okay.
So for those ones, it is just showing their cards and getting back.
Now, what happens if you didn't reside here, but you have important business here, and you would like to be able to come, and you're not on one of these 15 countries?
That becomes a little bit, well, quite a lot more complicated, in fact, because here we are in the gray area of law, And here we would need to see, and the border controls will see what is the purpose of your travel. So for now, the non-essential travel is restricted. So it is going to be the matter of demonstrating what is that essential need to travel that this person has. And that, technically speaking, it can be essential function of that person or essential need to travel. So if we are talking about the essential function, those are the people who have like healthcare professionals or researchers or elderly care specialists or frontier workers or some sort of transport personnel, of course, all the members of diplomatic missions and staff, etc., passengers in transit, etc. That is like one group, but I assume that that is a very specific group of people that that is not usually that have this type of concern. And the one that has this type of concern is those that they have the essential need to travel. And that could be, of course, situations such as family emergency. Some close member of close family member is in hospital or perhaps died because of the situation, or if there is a minor child that needs to be taken care of, or some elderly relative that needs to be taken care of. In that case, the border control should allow entry. And how to prove that, again, depends on the situation. If we are talking about hospitalization, that needs to be documents from the hospital or from the doctor that shows that this person is right now in treatment. And it would be good also to have documents that show the family ties with that person, like a birth certificate or marriage certificate or some sort of documents to show the connection between them. And then again, another type of situations that people that need to travel for business. Okay. That can be a little bit tricky, and there is no any established list of documents that you would need to show. It is all going to be at the discretion of the border control officer, who will evaluate whether this person really demonstrates the need to travel, and that travel will be considered essential. For example, if there is a notary signature that this person will need to do because there is a merger or acquisition of some businesses, and there is a notary signature fixed, and there are like a date fixed for that. And you can show by correspondence or by a letter from the notary that this person has the signature at that date and he must attend personally because of some reasons. Things like that. Something like that could be also could be used in that case.
Now, I have a question. Somebody asked me if they have a padrón that demonstrates that they live here, but for whatever reason they were outside of Spain and now they want to come back. Even if they're not legally living here, but they have a padrón that says that they live here, does that help?
That would need to be seen what is their residence status formally, because if those people, they had a residence card at some point, because if they are registered here in padrón, it is implied that at some point they had a residence permit. If it's expired, that again we would come whether it fell into that time frame of the extension or automatic extension or not. And if not, if it was not possible yet to apply for a renewal, but there is an expired residence card, and in addition, the documents that show that this person has padrón, the address registration, and perhaps even his own property, or perhaps a lease or a rental agreement, it is quite likely that the border control will consider it as sufficient proofs of residency. And in fact, we had clients in the office who were allowed to enter just showing the this alternative proof of residency rather than the residence card, the valid residence card.
Okay. And the other question I had is, what there's a very long backlog now for unprocessed visa applications and immigration related things. Is there any estimates that or any advice that you give for people who would like to start their immigration documentation and applications now?
Yes, there is a big backlog, but here again we can distinguish different situations. They could be people like many clients that we have currently that are kind of stuck with their initial applications in different Spanish consulates in different states in the US, that they just cannot, or they have initiated it and cannot receive the answer because the consulates were closed all these times, or because their appointments to submit to initiate the residency application were cancelled because of the COVID. This one, I can tell you that most of the consulates in the US are already back to work and attending this kind of applications, especially like in California and in LA. The consulate is working from from the information that we have for now. That is one group of persons that can now start moving a little bit the applications that they were stuck. Then if we were talking about renewals of those who were already in Spain, since those ones are submitted online, we didn't really notice any delay in those kind of cases because the immigration office was working throughout these months, and I must say they were doing quite a good job during these months, and they were responding quite quickly in terms of the renewals. That is a different group. And then now we are coming to the most complex of all, which is the police appointments for getting their residence card, which is called toma de huellas. And that is currently a big nightmare for not only the persons themselves, that they cannot get an appointment to renew their cards, but also for lawyers that are trying to help clients in this kind of procedures. And that is something that we need to see how it is going to be solved, because it is an ongoing problem. And there is a huge backlog in those ones, and no answer for now.
Okay. So we're hoping for a clear answer, but I guess you need some guidance from the government first, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Now, the other question that I have is, there are some people here who have, they were planning to come and be students in the fall here in Barcelona. And they have written Metropolitan and the American Society and other expat groups to see if there's any guidance, because the consulates in the US haven't given them information. Is there anything that you know or that you would suggest that they should do?
They can keep trying to contact the consulates and to book an appointment to submit their applications for initial student visa with the consulates. Because that is going to be the only way they could start their classes in autumn, in September or in October, whenever the university will reopen the program. Of course, here we are a little bit dependent on what is going to happen in the global context, whether it is going to be another lockdown or hopefully not. If not, and everything goes well and the classes can start in person in the universities in Spain, it is quite likely that during the next couple of months, the consulates in the US in particular will start giving appointments for this type of visas. But again, here we are dependent on the instructions and on the rulings of the European Union that limit the travel for non-residents from the US in particular.
Okay.
So I'm sorry for not being able to really say something, but there are like too many factors involved that keep everybody in this uncertainty.
Okay, and I understand that there is a form that people should fill out if they're trying to come here. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, it is obligatory now in Spain, and this is a health, like a travel health form that all travelers who are flying to Spain will need to fill. And there is a website from the Spanish government where it is possible to fill. And also there is a free app that you can download in all mobile phones that's called Spain Travel Health. And there you could just fill the form online and you will get the code or the QR code that you can just show at the border control and allows entry. But on the other hand, if you don't have that, or if you just didn't realize that you needed to do that before, most airlines, they facilitate that form in paper.
I see. Okay. All right. And so as a lawyer, are you getting some business now from clients that would like to make sure that they maximize their chances to be able to access Spain or enter Spain? Is this a business service that you're providing?
Yes, it's like a business service that arises during this unfortunate circumstances, as we provide it for our clients that we know the cases and we know their situations, and we just explain in the letter that we certify as lawyers that we have studied the case of this client, and we for these reasons, he is a resident in Spain, but because of those reasons, he was not able to renew his card. And yes, that is quite common nowadays.
I see. Okay. Is there anything else you want to share with us regarding this topic? Or
well, I'm just really hoping that very soon this will be over and we will be able to return to resume normal traveling and mobility for all over the world. And the restrictions for entry in the European Union will be lifted, and people can resume their plans.
Okay, well, that's all we have for the moment. I do want to thank you very much for your time here at Metropolitan. We will put down beneath, check out the details below here for how to get in contact with Anna Klevtsova. And also, I understand that we're going to be doing something regarding the ongoing Brexit. So thank you so much in advance for that. And I look forward to speaking with you on that matter, because that's also a huge thing for people who are here to make sure that they understand their rights. Anything you would like to advance on us on that one?
Yes, that is also a big change in the recent weeks. All these weeks are changes. Like every day we hear something new. And that is a big change in the procedure for getting residency certificate for British citizens. And they are quite significant, so we can talk about it later.
Okay, let's go ahead and do a video specifically on that matter, because we have a lot of our British brothers and sisters who need to make sure that they are taken care of. So without anything else, thank you so much for helping us out here, Anna, and look forward to seeing you soon. Stay well, stay healthy.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.